Welcome to the channel. This is the story of a boy who had everything the world could offer, but still felt hollow inside. Watch till the end, because what he learns from a quiet voice on a hill may shift something deep within you. In a peaceful village surrounded by green fields and ancient trees, there lived a boy named Vishnu. He was born into a wealthy family. His father was the most powerful man in the region. They lived in a massive house, wore the finest clothes, and never had to think about money. People greeted him with folded hands and polite smiles wherever he went. But deep down, Vishnu felt none of it was real. He would often wonder, do they smile because they like me or because they fear me? Do they talk to me or do they obey me? Even his own friends seemed nervous in his presence. They rarely laughed freely or looked him in the eye. He felt like he was trapped inside a golden cage, comfortable but completely alone. And that loneliness began to grow. One cold evening, when the sky turned gray and his heart felt heavier than usual, Vishnu climbed a hill outside the village. He sat quietly on the edge, his eyes full of tears. For the first time, he allowed himself to cry, not because he lacked anything but because he didn't feel anything. That's when an old yogi appeared, his clothes simple, his face calm, his presence silent yet powerful. The yogi sat beside him and said gently, "You seem to have a storm inside you." Vishnu wiped his face and said, "People respect me but I don't feel respected. They smile at me but I don't feel seen. I have everything, yet it feels like I'm missing the one thing that matters." The yogi listened patiently, and then said something simple, yet ancient in its truth. Sometimes life doesn't give you what you want, but it always gives you something. And when you begin to use what you have, the emptiness starts to fade. Vishnu looked confused. The yogi continued, "You have money, you have time, and you have power. A common man spends his life trying to get those things. But you were born with them. That's not a curse. That's a responsibility." Then the yogi quoted from old Indian wisdom, "Wealth is not noble by itself. It becomes noble only when used to uplift others." Those words struck Vishnu deeply. The yogi leaned closer and said, "Don't chase meaning by running away from what you have. Find it by using what you have to build something greater. Not just for yourself, but to help others see what they're capable of." Vishnu didn't reply. He simply nodded and walked down the hill with a quiet fire in his chest. From that day, everything changed. He started working, not for fame, not for applause, but for purpose. He opened schools where none existed, built clean water systems for far-off villages, created spaces for farmers, artists, and dreamers to share their knowledge and grow. He stopped waiting for the world to understand him, and began helping the world understand itself. Slowly, people began to see him not as the rich man's son, but as someone who was making their lives better. He showed others that they already had what they needed to grow. They just needed someone to remind them. And in lifting others, Vishnu lifted himself. He met thinkers, builders, and change-makers. He formed bonds not based on status but on shared dreams. And for the first time in his life, he felt truly seen. He had finally found friends who looked at him not with fear but with warmth. Years later, Vishnu climbed that same hill once again. Not with sadness but with gratitude. He sat at the same spot and whispered, "Thank you. You didn't tell me what to do. You reminded me of what I already had." The yogi was gone, but his words had become a quiet compass in Vishnu's life. He had discovered what so many chase but never find. That true peace doesn't lie in gaining more. It lies in transforming what you already hold into something meaningful. When you stop asking, "What am I missing?" and begin asking, "What can I create, offer, build, or heal?" your life shifts from emptiness to purpose. Because real fulfillment doesn't come from the world giving you more. It comes from you giving more to the world. You already carry more power, more potential, more wisdom than you realize. The question isn't whether you're enough. The real question is, what will you do with what you already have? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.